Go. Let's rock and roll.
Now I'm not ready.
Go.
Are you
going?
Greg?
Yes, good morning. Good morning, all ladies, gentlemen, and Rhonda. Welcome to our August meeting. And it's with great pleasure that I have the opportunity to introduce the past of everything, past president, Mr. Charlie Nichols.
Ah, thank you. So I'm your pastor now. Right?
You just passed it.
Yeah. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, swappers, and any future swappers we may have here this morning. I've just lost the running sheet, so I'm going to make it up as I go along. All right.
Oh, my.
And I'll try and remember it all as we go. Good morning to our speakers this morning. Thank you for joining us. And who have we got here this morning? We've got Keith. And who else is the other speaker? I've just lost all that now too. Erik, that's right. Awesome. Erik is our other speaker. So
Yes,
welcome this morning. So we have a 5-minute speaker, and then we have our main speaker. Although our 5-minute speaker, I think this morning can go a little bit longer if they wish, because we're not going to have too many thoughts of the day by the look of it. We haven't got all that many on this morning for some particular reason. All right. So welcome all. Welcome any past committee members. Also welcome any past award winners here this morning. We're going to once again start off with the thoughts of the day. And we haven't got a thoughts judge because I haven't picked one as yet. So you have to listen very carefully. So we've got a mystery thoughts judge this morning. It could be you. All right. So please listen up and then make sure that you write some nice comments. We're going to start off this morning because I've got the participants here. I'm going to start off this morning with Rhonda. Rhonda, can you kick it all off, please?
Okay, I am Rhonda Buttery, and my business activities include selling the best nutritional supplements on the planet, made from food instead of petrochemicals, and also selling and teaching people how to use the best astrology software in the world. And my thought this morning is, in theory, practice and theory are the same. In practice, they're not.
Very good, thank you. We're going to move on to Alex now. Good morning, Alex. Mr.
Good morning, Charlie. Good to see you. Well, I'm here in sunny Christchurch on a relatively mild morning. I've got a variety of things I do, but often I'm coaching people in the sphere of getting to know a wee bit more about cryptocurrency at the moment. My thought for the day is there is no harm in repeating a good thing.
Very good, thank you. What about Dot? How are you this morning, Dot?
Very well. And I'm in the business of gaining financial independence. And with that comes overcoming fear and driving change and putting yourself first. And my thought of the day is if you're not feeling fear, you're actually not stepping out of your comfort zone.
Yes, very good. I agree. That's a good one. Harry.
Good morning, all. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Harry. I live and work on the wonderful Sunshine Coast and beyond, and I work in real estate, helping people to make better choices and where they live and where they invest. And my thought for the day is the purpose of education is to replace an empty mind with an open one.
Thank you, Harry. What about talking about an open mind? Jeremy.
Nice one. Thanks, mate. Jeremy Britton from Boston Trading Co., world's first diversified crypto mutual fund, making people rich and outperforming Bitcoin for the last 7 years. My thought for the day is there are two ways of spreading the light: to be the candle or to be the mirror that reflects.
Oh, very good. Another New Zealander, Mr. Rod.
How you going, everybody? Wow, Keith, -6. I looked it up in Celsius. It's -14. You know, New Zealand has never been in -14 ever. So we just can't comprehend how cold some parts of the world are. Yeah, I'm in the sunny Bay of Plenty here in New Zealand and North Island. I'm retired, although I have a little project called the Hitch Post, which is the ultimate coupling lock for boats, caravans, and trailers. And so I sell a few of them. So it was a little project I got into after my caravan was stolen. So I thought, okay, I need to design something to stop the new one being stolen. So anyway, my thought for today is from Jim Rohn, and Jim Rohn's a good friend of mine. I listen to a lot of Jim Rohn, and Charlie once gave me a Jim Rohn tape of Jim speaking at the Gold Coast breakfast. Remember that, Charlie?
No, I had a brain injury.
Charlie introduced Jim Rohn, actually, and I still remember how he introduced Jim Rohn. I won't repeat it now, it's a bit long. But anyway, the quote is, if you're not willing to risk the unusual, you will have to settle for the ordinary.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah.
Brian.
Good morning all, Brian here with Spick and Span. We are commercial cleaners, and that's how we leave your place when we finish. Spick and Span. Just want to say a couple of weeks ago on a Sunday, I participated in what's called a stadium stomp, and it was at the Gabba. It was 5,000 stair steps. There were several hundred people there, and there was a volunteer there who'd been volunteering for 10 years, and I'm the first vision impaired person he's ever seen do that.
Very
so
good.
There was 2.25 hours of up and down stairs, through chairs. Yeah, I've been up in the cricket club many morning for breakfast, and that was the first time in the stadium. So my quote for the morning is, no matter how bad today is, the sun will still get up tomorrow, so you still have to get out of bed.
Yes, excellent. Thank you, Brian. Matter of fact, thanks, Brian, for putting me onto that app, Seeing AI. It's helped me a lot since I've lost half my vision.
Yep, Seeing AI. It's a beautiful one.
Seeing AI, it's a free app from Microsoft for those that are visually impaired. Excellent app.
We're all vision impaired. Visually, we're a good-looking people.
Well, there you go. Yvonne.
Good morning, everybody. Lovely to be here. So Yvonne Collier, Madison Training. So I help people communicate more effectively for better results. And I'm in Sydney, Australia, which is a lovely sunny day today. And yes, the weekend it was 24. Spring has sprung. Okay, the first two letters of goal are go.
Excellent. Thank you. Fatima, do we have Fatima this morning? No? Fatima Heard?
Yes, she is here, but she's muted.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Hello,
yes.
Fatima.
Hi, how are you?
Tell us about yourself, Tom.
Oh, well, I'm Fatima Heard. I'm a personal branding photographer, and I am, so I'm Erik's guest. I'm part of his team, so yeah.
Wow.
I'm just kind of checking this out. Thank you. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Welcome. Who's next? Who's next? Mr. Awesome.
Aren't we going to have a spot of the day from Fatima?
Well, if she's a guest and doesn't know the
Rhonda.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll just move on. What about Mr. Attitude? Mr. Awesome. Do we have a
Mr. Attitude? I love it. Hi, my name is Erik Swanson. I'm Mr. Awesome. And I'll just share a quick quote and then I'll come on video in just a little bit. I'm super excited about learning from Keith as well. And my quote is, and everyone write this down, NDSO. NDSO. It stands for no drama, serve others.
Wow.
No drama, serve others. Very good.
I wish I had a mic. I'm going to drop it right now. Bye.
What about John? Are you there, John?
Hey, everybody. I am also one of Erik's guests and part of his team, but I'm super excited to feel the energy in this room. A little bit about me is I am also a motivational speaker. I have coached on accountability for several years, and I speak and train on mastermind methodologies as described in Think and Grow Rich. And chapter 10 is one of my MOs. I absolutely love it, but I also am heavily involved in writing so many of these awesome books. Let me just put them over here on the screen. Oh my goodness. So many of these at the own hand of Erik Swanson, our team, and so many amazing professionals all over the world. I'm sure you'll get to hear more about it, but that's just a passion project of so much change and love that we have for the world. We'll share a quote. One of my favorites, as I've been studying this gentleman, you guys brought up Jim Rohn. I am new to Jim Rohn and I am loving it. I've actually been a student of listening to and learning from Zig Ziglar. And one of my all-time favorite quotes by Zig Ziglar is, you can have anything you want as long as you help enough people get what they want. I know I kind of changed the words there, but he says it so many times in his speeches and has used the same verbiage. And I love that because it's all about helping others. It's collaboration over the other word, which I don't even want to say. It's called competition, but collaboration over competition. Help others first and you'll get what you want. There you go.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you. And what about Keith? Would you like to introduce yourself, Keith?
Sure. Hello, everybody. My name is Keith Shaw. I'm a coach, speaker, and trainer. I help leaders become more confident and build trust so that they can improve company culture. And what I want to share with you today, as far as a quote, is I will go with Jim Rohn, who is also someone that I admire and have followed. And he says, "Don't wish that life were easier. Wish that you were better at handling life." And then I like to add a little bit to it and say, and when you make the commitment and you do, then life will get easier for you.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Now, have I missed anybody at all?
You.
All right, then I'll give my thought then. Good morning, swappers and future swappers. My name is Charlie Nichols, and I'm now retired. And my thought for the day is, any of you out there that are wishing they were retired, wish again, because being retired is no fun at all. You get no days off, you get no holiday pay, you get nothing. It's every day's the same. Right-ho. Now, who am I going to pick as a thoughts judge this morning? Who will I pick, Jeremy?
Ron.
Ron wasn't on the call, is he?
Rod. Righto. It's a no-brainer for me. It's a no-brainer because, like I said, I'm a real fan of Jim Rohn. So, Keith, you and I are on the same wavelength, and so Keith is the winner.
Would you like to repeat your thought, please, Keith?
Yes. Don't wish that life were easier. Wish that you could be better at life. And if you make the commitment and you do, then life will get easier for you.
Yes, excellent. Thank you. Now we're going to have a 2-minute break now. So
Is there any reason why you forgot me, Charlie?
Oh,
well, only because you weren't listening. I did say, have I missed anybody? And you never said a word.
I was waiting to see whether I'm still loved.
Well, you know, you're in, you're out.
You got the answer.
Yes, you still love Greg. Still love.
You gave up the chair and you're not getting it back. All right, Greg, you can't win, but give us your thought of the day.
I think we should start all over again so I can feel part of it, Charlie.
Well, let me just leave the meeting and I'll clog back on again, right?
Yeah, good
Come
morning,
on,
all.
Greg.
Very quick one. Greg Eldred from Executive Business Solutions in Melbourne. On a very, very simple one. If it's going to be, it's up to me. Now, does that one win, Charlie?
Just hold on. Rod, you
Is
want to
that
have a
one win?
recount?
Runner up?
No. Keith's the winner. That's it.
Keith's the winner. That's it. Excellent. Righto, folks. Let's have a 2-minute
And you
break.
used that thought last month, Greg.
I knew you'd pick me up, Rhonda. Thanks very much.
Now you know
Let's
why.
try and see if you can
now
win it.
why I left you out. Otherwise, people would have thought they're at the wrong meeting. Aye. So we're going to have a 2-minute break. Get yourself a cup of coffee, and when you come back, we're going to have our 5-minute speaker, Keith. And Jeremy, have you got somebody to introduce our 5-minute speaker?
Yes, Rodney's introducing Keith, and Harry's introducing Erik.
Excellent. All right, then. So let's have a quick break.
Grab a coffee. Be back.
Oh, I'm just so tired.
You sure I used that thought of the month last month, Rhonda?
It wasn't last month, it was the month before, but it's recent.
Yeah. You could have just said repetition is the mother of learning, and then said, by the way, I've got 2 thoughts. Repetition is the mother of learning.
I particularly remember that one because one of the founders of Bayside Swap, of which I was president for 2 years at one stage, always used that thought, and I hear it without thinking.
It's a very common swap one, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was Bob Decker, and he died 20 years ago. Yeah. Anyway, I'll be back in a minute.
Bye-bye.
You are allowed to talk.
In the snow, Greg.
Oh, sorry. No, that's I'm in actually I'm in Swan Hill at the moment, north of Victoria on the Murray. And it's probably about 6 degrees this morning, but that's actually a shot of up on my farm, which is central Victoria.
And it gets snow there.
Oh yeah, yep. I'm south. Well, I'm at the base of I'm near Mansell, which is the base of Mount Bullock.
Those boxes in there, what goes in there, and stuff, people. Okay. Yeah, or it's probably storage. The clothes that I put in storage. Yeah, that's good. They're not what's in that. Yeah.
Well, we're all a bit quiet here this morning.
I just need to tell Keith something. Keith, after you're introduced, I will mute everybody. Will you please check that you are unmuted before you start speaking?
Yes, I am unmuted and shall remain unmuted until time for me to speak.
But when I mute everybody, you will be muted. So you'll have to physically unmute.
Oh, I'll have to turn it. I got you. I have to turn it on once you mute everybody. Okay, got you. I will be ready to do that.
Thank you.
And for our listening pleasure, Blue Moon.
Now, I thought I already. Okay. Didn't push it hard enough. So you're going to be the host and left and Keith Shaw wants to be co-host.
When you're ready, Rhonda, we'll proceed.
I'm ready.
You're ready?
Yes.
Excellente. So welcome back, everybody. It is time for our 5-minute speaker this morning. Now, Normally we have a member do the 5-minute slot this morning, but we're very privileged this morning to have a professional speaker take it on for us. And 5 minutes might be a little bit too short. So if they wish to take a little bit further, you can, because we do have a bit of time up our sleeve this morning. So I think it was Rod. Rod, you're introducing our 5-minute speaker.
I am, and I'm excited to hear Keith. And Keith, I'm just reading your little bio, but I see when you introduced yourself, you read most of it out already. So I'm just going to go to the end and say, Keith will challenge you to take responsibility for your growth and provide a roadmap to build trust and improve company culture. Please, Keith, give us the best.
Okay, you'll now need to unmute. Thanks, Keith.
All right. Thank you very much, Rod, for that introduction. And I want to thank everybody here for being here today. Oh, there we go. All right. I want to thank everybody for coming today, because being here says that you are committed to your growth, and your growth is very, very important. I'm super, super excited. And I want to say one thing before I get started, and that's good eye. I know some of you are from Australia. That's my best version of Australian. So, don't judge me. That's the best I can do. But today I'm so excited to be with you, because I want to talk to you about something that I'm extremely passionate about, and that's personal development. Regardless of where you are in your life, personal development can have a monumental impact on your life. If you're super successful in business, what difference does that make if you don't have great relationships with your spouse and your friends and your children? So no matter where you are in life, personal development is what will spark you to help you go to the next level, so that all areas of your life can be fantastic. I was watching a interview of Warren Buffett recently, and someone asked Warren, what investment should I make? It was a young kid. And Warren Buffett said to that young man, the most valuable investment that you can make is in yourself. And we need to remind ourselves that we are so valuable that there's nothing else that compares to it. Because as we elevate our ability, we increase our ability to do everything else. So we should focus on trying to become the best version of ourselves. Now, why am I excited about that? Because I am a product of the product. I grew up in a low-income, high-crime community where there were no expectations. But fortunately, I had people who poured into me, people who saw things in me that I didn't see in myself, people who helped me look beyond my circumstances and encouraged me to work towards becoming the best version of myself. Now, as I mentioned, it doesn't matter where we are in life today, personal development can have an impact on our lives, because what if we learn the lessons that help us succeed in life, and then we share those with others? What if we share it with our kids, and our kids don't make the same mistakes that we made? What if we share it with our spouse or significant other, and they learn to become the best version of themselves, and you are then able to live out your dreams and the rest of your life with someone who is working to be the best version of themselves, just like you? These are things that are priceless. It's impossible to put a price tag on this, and it's that important. I like to say that personal development is the gateway to your gifts. And the problem is that not everybody works to find their gift. Some kids figure it out when they're infants. You see child prodigies who are 5 and 10 years old who have discovered their skills and are world renowned because of it. Some people find out later in life. Some people never look and never find that special thing inside of them. And it's there. All we have to do is make the commitment to look. So I want to remind you that you have the ability to become the person that you want to become. I want to share a quick story with you. My wife and I, we drive on Sunday. We'll go for a Sunday drive, and I sometimes get distracted. We'll drive, and then we'll come to a stoplight. And when we come to the stoplight, I tend to look around. Either I'll pick up my phone and check to see if I've got any emails or texts, or I look around to see what the other cars around me are doing. And every once in a while, somebody will be doing something unusual that will catch my attention. You know, somebody will be styling their hair. Of course, that is not a problem for me. My hair is perpetually styled. Yes, I think this is a very popular style. Saves me time, saves me money. Or someone will be putting on their makeup. Yeah, I don't need makeup either. But every once in a while, you see somebody doing something like that, or picking their nose, and it gets my attention. And I stop and look, and the light changes. And my wife will say, she'll tap me on the shoulder and say, "Hey, baby, the light has changed. You have the green light." Of course, that brings me back into focus in what I'm doing. And then I continue with our journey, spending a nice leisurely Sunday together driving. And this is a perfect analogy for personal development. You see, each and every one of us at some point has decided that we want to do something. There's something that we want to become. There's something that we want to improve. We want to become the best version of us. I believe in my heart that every one of us wants that. But you know what Jim Rohn says, as it was mentioned earlier, you know, life tends to create problems sometimes. Life can sometimes be difficult. We shouldn't wish that life were easier. We should wish that we get better at life. And the way you do that is through personal development. Identify where you are, identify where you want to go, and then create a plan to get there. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in a very rural area, or in an area where there's mountains, or an area where there's downtown and big buildings. If you pull out your GPS system on your phone or in your car, sometimes the GPS system has difficulty identifying where you are. And because it can't identify where you are, it struggles to give you directions to get to your destination. Now, this is something that is also like personal development. Before you can identify where it is that you want to go, you got to find out where you are. You got to do an assessment. You got to understand what your strengths and weaknesses are, and then understand, here's where I am today, and this is where I want to be tomorrow. What do I need to do to take the steps to get to where I want to be? All of that is personal development, and taking those steps will help you to become the person that you want to be. And I think we all desire and deserve to be an extraordinary person, but I want you to know that in order to do that, you must do extraordinary things. Now, most people won't take the time to be introspective and understand themselves so that they can improve their relationships. But as entrepreneurs, as business professionals, as loving family members, relationships is what it's all about. So understanding ourselves so that we can better interact and understand with others is a key to success in life and a key to success in business. Personal development is the gateway to your gifts. And I want to close with, I believe that personal development can change the world. In my heart, I believe this to be true. Be the change. You are the spark, because change happens first inside of you. Now, that's my short spiel. I want to thank you for your time, and I want you to have a blessed day and a great meeting. Thank you.
Right, there we go. Unmute yourselves, everybody. Thank you. Thanks for that. I really appreciated that. The couple of things there really struck a chord with me. Now let's move on, folks. What have we got now? Mr. Awesome. Who was introducing Mr. Awesome? Harry.
Wait, I want to go back and I want to hear the couple of things that struck a chord with you, Charlie, about Keith. Can we do that for a second?
Well, if you do, it's going to take up all your time.
That's fine. I just want to take 2 minutes of it. That'd be awesome.
All right.
You all in favor, Keith? Yeah.
Yeah.
What was all right? Let's just cruise around and what was your favorite part of that speech, Charlie?
Well, really talking about James Rohn brings back a lot of memories for me, because I used to travel around Australia with him and introduce him, and I think it was Rod that alluded to the fact how I used to introduce him. And I used to say, in real estate, they say location, location, location. In retail, it's position, position, position. In public speaking, it's James Rohn, James Rohn, James Rohn. Because it was so true. It was such a great speaker. And I'm glad that you carry his message just as well as James did. All right. Thank you. So let's move on, Mr. Awesome. Otherwise, I'll be talking all the time.
I love it.
All right.
Well, let me introduce our next speaker, who's going to introduce our next speaker. Please give it up for Harry, please.
Morning, all. Look, I remember Jim Rohn too, Keith. So I'm so happy that you moved me out of my seat, not even sipping my coffee for a minute. So yeah, Jim, he's a great guy, and I love Zig Ziglar as well. So there we go. And my next favorite speaker is obviously going to now be Keith and Erik, because I'm already pumped. So
we actually own a law firm. It's called Keith and Erik.
Oh wow, cool! I love it. I'll sign up for that one. It's my
pleasure
to introduce Erik. He's in the journey of success. Sometimes you get the chance to come across an individual who's really walked the walk and delivers straight from the heart. Our guest speaker, Erik Swanson, has done just that. He's spent 18 years working and sharing with people like Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Jack Canfield, Bob Proctor, many others. Obviously, we all know The Secret and Think and Grow Rich by the Napoleon Hill people. And Erik's main mentor, Brian Tracy, has taught him the value of surrounding himself with thinkers, educators, and motivators of the day, which skyrocketed Erik's success in teaching others how to think, act, and grow rich, hopefully. I love it. I love it. We are super excited. I'm super excited. Good morning, Erik. Welcome.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm full screen. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna try to go to gallery because I love watching you guys.
I'm muting everybody now, so will you please unmute yourself again? Thank you.
She was talking to me. And if you are in control, Rhonda, do me a favor and periodically, like every minute and a half or so, cruise to the gallery. I know you're recording this, but cruise to the gallery view instead of just me as, a big, huge speaker view. I want to see the gallery. I want you guys to see your own reactions. By the way, hopefully you guys can tell I like to have some fun. And did you guys like that was a note to myself, by the way, check it out, and my team. 7-year-old intro. We need to change that. That was 18. What'd you say? It was 18 years ago I got into the business. Yeah, it was around 25 years ago I got into the business. I started with a gentleman named Brian Tracy. Is anyone here familiar with Brian Tracy and what he does? Oh my gosh, he was and is amazing. In fact, I think I have a, somebody said, hey, bring some slides. I'm like, I don't have any slides, but I have a photo. So let me show you an early photo. Oh, here it is. Oh, this is gonna be so cool. Let me show you an early photo of Brian and I. And let me know if you can see that. Just give me a thumbs up if you can. Yes. Okay. So that's Brian Tracy and myself. Oh my gosh. Now, I don't know if you guys can, notice this, but I wanted to be Brian Tracy and Tony Robbins at the same time. And I can prove it from this photo right here. Brian Tracy was, I was wearing my tie and just such a, Brian Tracy, he's such a wonderful human being and leader in our world. And Tony would always wear the suspenders. So I'm wearing a belt and suspenders in that same photo right there by accident. I didn't know any better, but let me just take that off screen there. So that was my first introduction to Brian Tracy. When I was introduced to him, I had no idea who he was. I met a friend of mine that I was a server. I was waiting tables, and this gentleman, his name's Buddy Schilling. I went over to his table. I was waiting on him, and he says, "Hey, what's going on?" I said, "Well, some guy just offered me a position with his company. I don't know, Dick Tracy or something like that." And he goes, "Do you mean Brian Tracy?" I'm like, "Yeah, he just left. I was waiting on him back over here." He goes, and I had the the menu. I can't think of the word. I had the menu just right here. He goes, let me see that. Is that the menu? Let me see that. And I give it to him. And he goes, let me see your, I had like a thing that wrapped around with all my pens and everything, and he goes, let me see the just take that off. I go, take it off? He goes, yeah, take it off. I go, he goes, yes, leave this here. Go to the manager right now, and I want you to quit your job right this second. So I did. I literally trusted this guy because this guy was a multi-billion-dollar dude, Buddy Schilling, great individual, really fantastic leader in my life. And he would always come and sit in my table every Thursday and tucked in the corner, I think because he always had a little whiskey during lunch. But anyway, he was the president of I don't know how many thousands of realtors over in Austin, Texas. I heard someone's in Dallas. I can't remember who it was, but oh, Keith, awesome. I should have noticed from the shirt you're wearing. I like the Dallas Cowboy color there. So I used to live in Dallas as well. We'll talk offline. So long story short, I quit my job and I worked with this gentleman because I took a leap, not of faith, but a leap with faith. I literally took that leap with faith. Yes, by the way, I'd love to see the tops of your heads if you're writing that down. Please write that down. Leap with faith. That comes from a dear friend of mine, Sharon Lecter, who's just one of my best friends. She wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad with Robert Kiyosaki. She wrote Outwitting the Devil. She's written many books with me and in our tons of series. I can't say that word. Anyway, so I got started with Brian Tracy. December 12th, 1998. It's a long time ago. And one of the first things that Brian taught me to do and suggested for me to do is to diversify myself, to learn from other people. He said, look, don't learn and love 100% of my information. Learn as much as you can. But then, in fact, I think I have, where is his book? It's probably behind me somewhere. I'm looking through do you like my screensaver back here? You like it? So there's a book of Brian's around here somewhere. I was just, I know. I took it to the other room to read a little bit more. I read every day. I read Brian Tracy. I read Jim Rohn. I read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Who's read this book? Who's read this book? Can I see raise of hands? Who has not read this book yet? Oh my gosh, nobody's going to admit it to it. All right. So you've read this book many times, John. So I started diversifying myself. And what I mean by that, like Keith was talking about, self-development. It's all about developing ourselves. How are you going to change the world out there? By changing within. Jim Rohn taught me that. By the way, my business name is Habitude Warrior. I got to tell you the genesis of this this name. I worked with Brian Tracy for about 8 years at this point, and it was amazing. Traveled around. I mean, I was like, this is amazing. I love this. I'm helping people and I'm driving a Porsche 911 at the same time. This is pretty cool stuff, right? And I loved it. I was the king of teaching people how to close, how to network, how to prospect, how to lead gen, how to build your business. And I'll teach you a few of the things that I learned as well today. I'll share that with you. But what happened was I was in this event with Brian Tracy, and there were a few other speakers, and this gentleman kind of calls me over. He's sitting, distinguished gentleman sitting in the back of the room, just kind of in the corner, legs crossed. He's going like this. He looks like this. Okay. He goes, son, come here. He says, Eric, right? And I said, yes, sir. Yes. He says, what are you doing with Brian? What do you do with Brian? Because Brian was on stage and he knew I was one of the team members of Brian Tracy back then. And he says, what are you doing with Brian? And I was all excited. I was like, I'm the best salesperson he's ever seen. I'm the lead generation for the whole company, which honestly, I really was. And if you know the industry, Keith, you probably know the industry, especially in the States here. It's and in Australia and New Zealand, everywhere. It's all like there's a shelf life of what I used to do, what I did. And the shelf life was about, I think it was like 12 months or if that, 18 months tops. I went 18, 19 years. Well, from that intro, 18 years. I went 25 plus years, and I'm constantly learning. I'm never out of school. So I was really excited though at this point, because I was literally one of the top of the top. My mentor, Brian Tracy, taught me, don't just be the top 20%, be the top 20% of the top 20%, which is the top 4%, and you'll change people's lives, including yours around you. And I strive to do that. And I did that. And people were calling me up. You guys know some guy named Tony, big guy with a lot of teeth. Yeah, Tony Robbins' team. The whole team. Tony knows this, by the way. The whole team of Tonys would call me to train them on the side to help them sell Tony. That's how good I was with Brian Tracy stuff. Y'all with me on this? So long story short, I said to this gentleman who asked me in the back of the room, he goes, "What do you do with him?" I said, I'm best sales guy, Brian Tracy's organization has ever seen. And he turns to me, he goes, what do you really want to do? This is what this gentleman asked me. What do you really want to do? In fact, everyone grab your pen, write that down. What do you really want to do? What do you really want to do today? What do you really want to do tonight, tomorrow, day after? By the way, how is today for me and Keith, tomorrow for all you guys, right? You guys are in the future for us. But how, what do you really want to do? And you know what? I'll call some names. Greg's probably sitting there going, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Good. Jeremy says, I'm doing it. But then Jeremy says, but then again, good point, Erik. I have been delaying on that. I have been procrastinating. Does anyone procrastinate here in the room? Can I see raise of hands? You guys want to talk about it an hour later? Yeah, push it off, right? Yeah. So what are you not doing? What aren't we? I see Keith's like, I'm using that one. Okay. So what are we not doing? Harry, what are you not doing? Well, you're definitely, running the fashion awesomeness of your, your glasses and everything amazing, right? Well, what are we not doing? How about taking a checklist of things that we are just leaving to the side? And I'm trying to slow down my pace here, my speech, or my speaking pattern, because this is a real thinker, isn't it? As SWAP members, we should look at this and say, okay, here are the 3 things I did today, but what are the 3 things I didn't do today? Anyway, getting back to my story, Jim Rohn, I just said Jim Rohn's name. I don't know why, because somebody said one of his names earlier. Pretend you didn't hear that name. So I went back to the gentleman who's sitting in the back of the room, and he asked me, what do you really want to do? I thought about it. I got a little nervous. I walked away. I came back, and guess who that guy was? Of course, I went back to him and I said, Mr. Rohn, I know what I want to do. I want to work harder and more diligently and help people with their habits and their attitudes, rather than helping people sell. Forget sell. Everyone write down the word sell, and then cross it out. Put down serve, right? It's all about serving. The more you serve. What was my first quote? By the way, you know who said that quote years ago? Oh my gosh, amazing guy. Erik Swanson said it. NDSO, no drama, serve others. I wear a dog tag that says that. My father has it as well. He has his, I have mine. He passed away 7 years ago, and he gave me this in my dream when I was in shock for 10 days or 8 days in a row. I remember exactly where I was. I was in New Orleans. I was literally in New Orleans when I got, has anyone gotten the call, right? I was the one who got the call in my family. My father had passed, and this came to me. NDSO, no drama, serve others. I dropped everything I was doing, and I changed my whole career, my whole life, my whole everything. And you could see behind me here, if I just move this, you'll see all the books that we've done. You should see in front of me here. John picked up some of his. Like, these are all, this is not the same book. These are different volumes in the books that we've done. This is over the last 3 years. And what I'm saying is, it's changed my life. Look at this. These are my friends that I hang out with, if you could see this. And this isn't a, oh my gosh, show and tell, but maybe it is. Maybe it should be, right? Sharon Lecter, myself, Dennis Waitley, Dr. Dennis Waitley, NASA's performance coach. Really? Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Alex Stern, who started Constant Contact, Sharon Lecter, everybody. Rudy Rudiger. Who's familiar with Rudy Rudiger from the 90s a football Notre Dame movie? Do you guys have TV in Australia? What's going on? You haven't seen that? Really? Come on. 1990, you all too young. That's what's going on. All right. So if you're not familiar with Rudy Rudiger, Rudy from the movie, he actually, I interviewed him, and he's actually in one of our upcoming books. Let's get back to the story though. The story is the fact that Jim Rohn I almost said Jim Rohn changed my life. I take that back. He didn't change my life. I allowed myself to change my life through some amazing thought patterns that Jim Rohn taught us. It's funny when I used to say the story, 10, 15 years ago, and sports guys would be like, Jim Rohn changed your life. No, not the sportscaster, dude. It's Jim Rohn, right? And really, I allowed myself to take my main mentor's advice. Remember what it was? Does anyone who's our monitor here of the minutes of awesomeness? The judge. I don't know what you guys called it. Who is it? Is it Rhonda? Who is it? Okay, so what was the first thing that I was taught? The very first lesson that I was taught by my main mentor. Does anyone recall what it was? John, you can jump in if you want to say it, if you remember it. Raise your hand if you remember. In light of time, I'll just tell you. Brian Tracy said to me, don't learn 100% of my information. Don't love 100%. What did he say? He said to diversify yourself. Remember that? And that's what I did with Jim Rohn, with all the different people that I surround myself with Jack Canfield, all my buddies, Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, Sharon Lecter, Dennis Waitley, all the people who wrote books with me, from Chef Bruno Serrato from CNN Man of the Year. I'd mentioned Brian Tracy there, of course, all the different individuals that I allow them to surround themselves with me. Les Brown. How many of y'all are familiar with Les Brown? You guys know who Les Brown is? One of the best motivational speakers in the world. Well, that's how I got my nickname, by the way. I was coming off the stage one time and I had a huge line just to come and hang out with me or high five me or whatever, right? It was just when I was coming off of this stage one time in California and I recognized somebody in the line. Have you ever been in a situation where you recognize them, but you're like, how do I know this person? Right? And that was the case. And I realized it was Les Brown and Les Brown is pointing at me and he's saying, you're Mr. Awesome. That's what he said to me. And when someone like Les Brown or Brian Tracy calls you Mr. Awesome, you know what you do? You market the heck out of that. Right? So you keep that and you put it on your business cards. But here's what happened. I'm going to share with you a transition. And Fatima, I'm looking at you for this. By the way, you spelled your name wrong again. Put PH. You are Fatima. PH, right? PHAT. I love that. So Fatima, write this down in your mind. It's giving yourself permission to be awesome and owning that. Okay. Everyone write this down, by the way. Everyone write this down. Seriously, write this down. I want you, Rodney, to move your hand and write this down. Here we go. Write down me, we, world. Me, we, world. At first, we need to work on what? Ourselves. Self-development. Love what Keith is talking about. I want to hear more of him. I want to yield some of my time to him, man. I want to hear more. I want to hear the gateway to awesomeness, right? And the thing is, it's about working more diligently on ourselves. This is what Jim Rohn taught us, or taught me personally. He says, work harder on yourself than your job, and everything else will flourish around you, right? Including your relationships, including your careers, including everything. So I started doing that. And it's not about me, but it's about me. It's about me bettering myself. Y'all with me on this? By the way, I love John's smile. You ever just look at somebody and you're like, they're getting it. They're getting it. And he's actually sharing 2 smiles from me. I see it right now. One is, that makes total sense. I love this. And 2 is, so proud of this guy. That's awesome. I see that, man. I see you. And I've got another friend of mine who goes into every speech. And this is live speeches. Remember before the pandemic? This is live, 3,000 people in our audience. And he's looking and he goes, and he takes like 10 minutes to do this. He goes, I see you. I see you. I see you. He connects with every single person. How many of us need to do that? Mentally write this down. Mentally write this down. Not physically. Mentally write this down. I want you to see 3 people today. Sorry, it's 8 o'clock for you guys. It's going to be easy for you. 3 people. I want you to see them. Okay. Keith, I'm not talking about the 3 people you see all the time. I want you to go seek out in Dallas 3 people tonight and see them, really see them. Okay. Getting back to my story, which I don't know which story I'm on now, is you gotta have a lot of stories in your back pocket. The story is that Jim Rohn said to me, he goes, that's a really cool idea. So he said, so you want to work on yourself, on your habits and your attitude, even though you're an expert at doing what you're doing with Brian. I said, yes, sir. And he says, what else? And I said, not only do I want to help myself, I want to help everyone around us. And that's where the we comes in, right? How many of you have some relationships that might need some attention? It could be a relation, your relationship, your significant other. Maybe it's your insignificant other right this second this week, right? Maybe it's your symbiotic relationship in your company. Maybe it's a team player. Maybe it's somebody that you lost. How many of y'all could raise your hand? You don't have to raise your hand, but just raise an eyebrow. How many of y'all could say to yourself that, I lost touch with that person. We had a little argument and something happened, disagreement, right? Which is usually what? Misunderstanding on communication. It's usually what it is, right? That's what it is. And, you lost touch with that person. That person was a best friend of yours, or you were very close. Maybe it's your brother or sister. And could you think of that person right now? Everyone's got a person like that, right? How about this? I don't drink anymore, but maybe go down to the store and go grab a bottle of wine and a note, a thank you note. Oh, remind me to tell you about thank you notes, by the way. Grab a thank you note and a bottle of wine, send it over to them. You get the same bottle of wine as well. Even if you don't drink, you just open it if you want. And in the note, it'll say, hey, George, man, that was kind of silly of us. What was that? It's been like 5 years. It's been 8 years. We lost touch, man. That's silly. We used to be really, really close. At the very least, let's crack open a bottle of wine and just have a cheers. Just let me know when we'll jump on a Zoom. Just a quick cheers. That's it. All right. So getting back to this, Jim Rohn and I talking that day, he made me realize that I'm in charge. It wasn't all about me just working for Brian. It was about me working with Brian, right? Remember when I said, oh, where's our monitor again? Remember when I said, it's not a leap. What did I say? With faith? Do you remember this? It wasn't a leap of faith. It's a leap with faith. So I took a leap with faith, and I said to myself, I'm going to take a leap with myself and with Brian, and he's going to support me. You know who the best leaders are in the world? People who say, Keith, I taught you everything I can teach you right now. So son, or my friend, it's your turn. It's your turn to go out there, and I'm going to be the first. Send me the link. I want to sign up. I want to get the first ticket to come see you. Yes, I know I'm your mentor. I get it, but I want to be in the front row. That's what Brian did with me. He's like, good. I told him, I said, there's 3 things I'm going to do. One is I'm going to make $1 million. 2 is I'm going to drive a Porsche 911. And 3 is you're going to be on my stage. And all 3 happened. And how? Why? Because I took that leap with faith. And think about it. The ballroom it's a square ballroom. Okay. Stage way up there. Brian's over there. Jim Rohn's over here. Okay. Could you be surrounded in a room with who else could? It was a dream team for me. So I said to Jim Rohn, I said, yeah, I'm going to work on my habits and attitude. Jim Rohn said this to me, and I'm just going to tell you what he said, just straightforward. He said, you should put that together. This is what he said to me. I said, I want to work on my habits and my attitude. He said, you should put that together. And you know what I did? I don't think he meant literally, but I literally put the words habits and attitude together, and I came up with Habitude. And that's my brand. That's my branding for years and years and years because of Jim Rohn. I didn't quit Brian, but I resigned from Brian Tracy and in that form. And then I worked with Brian Tracy now in other forms because Brian's contributing in all of my books now. He and I are amazing. And it's all because of that thought pattern that I allowed myself to open up. So what was a thought pattern that you are working on that, maybe you're procrastinating on that decision? Y'all with me on this? Is this resonating? And I love your reactions because it could be a non-reaction to me, but it's a reaction to yourself. I really want, and I have in my masterminds, I run tons of masterminds. I run things, this is kind of cool. It's called the Jar of Optimism. If you guys want to be in my mastermind, you can. Of course, it costs a lot of money, but it'll be fun. But here's the deal. It's a jar of optimism. And it literally, we pick out of this jar, we pick an optimism saying, and we talk about that. And I have a lot of people in my masterminds that gets deep. I mean, it doesn't get heavy, but it gets deep. And people start, they'll tear up a little bit, and that's what I'd like you to do that. I want you to do that. Whether I see you tomorrow, whether I never see you again, I want you guys to take this to heart and say, okay, you know what? Enough is enough. It's time for me to move to that next level in this area of my life. Some of you said, I'm retired, and best things about being retired and the worst things. You should write a book. It'd be awesome. And then don't finish the book. that'd be even awesomer. But you publish it, but it's like the last 3 chapters are still open, and people can write in their last chapters if they want. That'd be so cool. Great, brilliant idea. I know. But the point is, I took that to heart from Mr. Rohn, and it changed my life. But more importantly, it changed a lot of people around me, their lives. So I'm going to share just a couple ideas with you all real quick. I think I still have more time, or about 10 more minutes or so. I don't know. Somebody can clock me if they want. But here's the deal. And by the way, seriously, Brian, relax. Just relax, Brian. Okay. So here's the deal. So I want you to. I'm just talking to Brian over there. He's laying there getting some infusion of something really cool, I'm sure. So here's the scoop. I want to share a couple great ideas with you guys, and one of them is thank you notes. How many of y'all write thank you notes? Yes or no? No. Okay. I want to share something really, really cool with you guys. I want to share this. Thank you notes. I want you to write thank you notes in advance, and also I want you to write thank you notes to yourself. Okay, to yourself. I want you to really write that down. Like, put it in your calendar tonight or tomorrow morning. All right. Here's the deal. I have thank you notes on my desk everywhere to myself, because I write it the night before. And so this one, it just looks like that, right? It just says thank you. And if you open it up, this one says, Erik, thank you for being you. Keep changing lives every day, including your own. You are awesome. And then I sign it. Look, check it out. Love you. It's so cool. I love this. Okay. I put this anywhere and everywhere. I write them. Here's another one right here. I write them everywhere for myself, and I put them in different places. I quit 3 things over the years. I quit 3 things. And one of them is I quit alcohol, I quit coffee, and I quit negativity. So I actually put one of these in front of my coffee maker. So I go up to my coffee maker. I go up to my coffee maker. I'm about to make a pot of coffee, and I'm like, you know what? I don't need any coffee. I'm my own coffee. I put this right in front of it. I'm like, I'm going to pump myself up. And then you know what? If I pump myself up for me being my own coffee or my own caffeine, I'm going to be other people's espresso, because people probably need it. They need people like us to change their lives. And just ask them and just let them know, I see you. I'm here for you, right? Maybe I see you as a different, the words that you don't want to use. Maybe you use a different thing. Like, how are you? How are you today? Like, how is your day going today? Like, really, how's it going? And how can I change it for the better? How many of y'all open up doors for people? Like, when you're walking into a coffee shop or anywhere, right? You open up the door. How many of y'all do this though? The people who open up the doors, which we all do, I'm sure. Do you ever 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3, too late, I'm going in, right? And you because they're taking too long to walk in, or they're way far in the parking lot. My suggestion is this: wait it out. I've waited it out so much, like people drop their keys. I've waited a minute at least. And finally they come in and they're like, oh my gosh, are you waiting for me? I'm like, yeah, I just wanted to open the door for you. And it's nothing contrived or anything. It's just more like, I would want somebody else to do that for me. So I did that for them, and I do this all the time. And guess what? It works. And then it gets paid off later on. It's amazing how the payoff is, because you help people's lives, but then it comes back to you in different ways, in different forms. There's another thing I was going to ask you about goal setting. How many of y'all write down your goals? How many of y'all write them down? How many of y'all review them on a consistent basis? Do you know what the percentage is by percentage that actually write down their goals or don't write down their goals? Do you guys know what it is? It's about 5. Yeah, I see one. It's actually 3%. Studies keep on telling us that about 3% of the population actually write down our goals, and the other 97% don't really write them down. And they go, oh, it's up here. You know what? A lot of people in my seminars, they say, oh, my goals are here. Guess where they usually stay is up there, right? Instead of actually writing them down and putting them pen to paper. It's amazing. I have, today, when Jeremy explained what I was doing today, I wrote it down. So I wrote it down, and literally, like, it's a bullet point of awesomeness to share with you, but as importantly with myself as reminders. How many of y'all need reminders on a daily basis, right? Writing them down. 3% of the population write down their goals. 97%. You know what I'm learning? 97% of the population actually work for the top 3%. Wonder if there's a correlation there. When I worked in different parts of industries, like the sports industries, helped out a lot of different sports athletes. One of them, Michael Jordan. Do you know that Michael Jordan had written down his goals? He told us since he was 5 years old. 5 years old. That's pretty powerful. Do you think we could learn from successful people? Yes or no? Pretty obvious. Do you think we can learn from unsuccessful people? What do you think? Yes. Take what they do and do what? Do the opposite, right? Everyone repeat after me. Even if you're muted, just repeat after me. I will not take advice from anyone more messed up than I am. Is that good advice? I mean, let's face it. There's a lot of people out there that don't know what they're talking about, yet they want to bring us down to their level. Misery loves what? Company, right? Stay away from them. Take a look at the top achievers, top producers, follow their lead. But the first step is really to set specific goals in every area of your life. I was working with a gentleman named Jack Canfield. You might have known him. He's written a book series called Chicken Soup for the Soul, over 80 billion copies sold. Good buddy of mine. I'll show you a photo of he and I, if I can find it. He and I were talking about the cycle of achievement. And it's kind of cool. Wow, there's an old photo. I need to get you a new one. The cycle of achievement is really cool because it's achieving different things in different areas of your life. It's not just achieving things in the regular, everyone's like, oh, I want to make more money, or I want to, well, specifically, how much money do you want to make? All right. Somebody says, oh, I want to make more money. Great. Here's $5. No, I want to make more than that. Great. Here's $10. Right. So what is the amount, or what about different things like, there's a wheel of achievement that we talked about, Jack and I, for financial, there's career goals, there's health and fitness. What else? There's spiritual goals, there's family relationship goals. What about all these? And have you ever noticed that when you're striving in one or two of these areas, sometimes the other one or two areas kind of goes down, right? And then we need to take a look at that wheel of achievement. A couple more quick things I want to share with you guys, and then I'll yield my time, is what about lead generation? Like generating leads. I heard earlier, all of you were talking about, I do this, I do that, do this. And all of it deals with building business, right? And meeting people. Best thing you could do in all of our businesses is meet new people, right? Les Brown and I were talking the other day. He was saying, 80% of your success, typically, if you're in sales, how many of y'all are in sales? All of us, right? How many of y'all are self-employed? All of us. How many of y'all are unemployed every single morning? Yes, all of us. Okay, so unless you have a residual, I know. But the point is, though, Les used to tell me this. He said 80% of your career and your sales come from about 80% of the people you don't know yet. The other percent comes from the people you already know. So we need to generate new business. We need to meet new people. I have a few ways to do it real quick. Number one, take a different route. So go to different places, take a different route. Stop going to the same places. Go to different locations, meet different people. I go to coffee shops all the time. I don't even drink coffee, by the way. Can you tell I don't drink coffee? It's crazy, right? I don't. But the point is, though, I go to coffee shops all the time. Why am I there? Just to meet people, to hold open the door, right? People ask me what I had for coffee. I'm like, I haven't even gone to the counter yet, right? So it's just my attitude of awesomeness, and I want to share that with them. And I'm not bouncing on the chairs or anything like that. I'm seeing people, and a lot of us don't see people. We literally don't. So number one is take a different route. Go to places like here in the States. We have Trader Joe's or Whole Foods or, you know, whatever grocery stores, or we have like the Costco's or the BJ's, whatever those discount big places are, right? My suggestion is this: don't go to the same grocery store. Go to different places. Remember back in the day, my parents used to have like 2 or 3 shopping carts where they were holding on to dear life on these shopping carts. And it was like $300 later because they'd stock up for like a whole month for the family. My suggestion to you is don't stock up for the month. Stock up for 2 days and then go back to the same place or a different a grocery store. Why? It's same stuff, you know, same products there, but who's different? The people, right? You want to meet people. You want to get in front of individuals and just spark up a conversation. Also, another thing that I do is I build my own creed. Here's a creed that I have in front of me at all times in different places of my home. And this one just says, I am the best. I am focused. I will succeed. I believe myself. I set high expectations. I don't let others bring me down. How many of y'all could use just one of those statements right there? I mean, how many of y'all have your own creed and you pass this out? Like, you go to places, right? You go, I'll use Keith as an example. You're in Mockingbird Station, right? There's a great Starbucks there and great, Cafe Express. I don't know if it's still there. Great place. So you cruise over there. They've got bulletin boards everywhere. Just take your creed, put it up there. And it's got your information right on the back. Oh, hire me for a coach or whatever it is. Just do different things that people are not doing. Take different routes. I leave my house with 5 business cards every single day in the expectation that I will meet 5 new people. And by the way, I don't call them business cards. I want to be very clear. Let me see if I have one on me here. Yep, I do. I call these gift cards. My business card, which is the same thing as your business cards, okay? Has my name, has my information on there, and has a little picture so people remember who the heck it is, and so forth, right? So here's my business card, which is just like anyone else's. But I don't call it a business card. I call it a gift card. Do you know why? Because it's a gift to me if I meet you. It truly is. It truly is. I want to connect with people. So have those gift cards and treat them like gift cards. And actually on my business card or my gift card, I have, hey, for a free gift, you know, text this number or go to this landing site for, you know, half of my books. Right now I'm a 13-time #1 best-selling author. It's crazy. And you know, put it out there. Just go there with the gift of your success to their success, and everyone's going to be more happier. The world's going to go around in such a great way. So I'm going to kind of close up. I know I have a few more minutes, but I'd love to open it up for any questions, you know, Q&A. Oh, I do want to mention this. We have some really cool book collaborations, book series that I developed. I created these things. You guys, is anyone here a #1 best-selling author? Who are #1 best-selling authors in the group here? Let me see, raise of hands. 1 or 2 of us. Okay. If you've ever thought about becoming an author and it's kind of daunting, it is. It's a little, you know, somewhat of a headache to even figure out. Well, we've captured everything about it. Our latest one is called the Book of Influence, based on Dale Carnegie's work. And I put in famous authors, my celebrity friends, to co-write, and it's a pay-to-play, of course. 33 authors in here. They write 1 chapter, but not just in 1 book. They're in 4 different books, which is kind of cool. The other one is based on, some of you guys know my friend, maybe you know my friend Don Green, who's the president of Napoleon Hill Foundation, Think and Grow Rich. Well, I wrote a book series, 13. I called my buddy Don. It's a good friend of mine. I said, look, I want to write a book, but not just 1. I want to write 13 different books based on Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, because there's 13 major principles, 1 per book. And I have 13 celebrities that are in it. This is sold out. This came out 2 to 3 years ago. We're almost finished with the whole program. Our latest one, by the way, we have 2 that are just coming to fruition right now. It's still time to get in a couple of these. Actually, one of them is almost like to capacity. We have the Book of Mentors, where we're doing 4 books. I think we have 3 spots left. So if anyone here is interested, email Jeremy, I guess is the best way to get in touch with me real quick. But that's the Book of Mentors. It's going to be 4 books, very similar to this one right here, the Book of Influence, but it's called the Book of Mentors. And what's so cool, if you go to thebookofmentors.com, you'll see it. What's so cool is we take each book is dedicated to and honoring a legacy legend. And the first book is honoring Zig Ziglar. The second one is Bob Proctor. The third one is Wayne Dyer. And the fourth one is Jim Rohn. So it's kind of a no-brainer. If you guys want to be in that, Keith, call me immediately after this, or I'll put my info or something like that, or my team's here. John, if you could put your info in the chat, maybe that's easiest. But definitely connect with us, because I think we have 3 spots left to be in that. And you won't write one, you'll write 4 different chapters, 1 in each book, and you'll become a 4-time #1 bestseller with Brian Tracy and with all the rest of the people that we're in that book series with. So it's kind of a no-brainer, and it's really inexpensive. So if you guys are interested, message us. And the last thing I want to mention is this: we did a book series called, and it sold out in like 4 days, or no, 8 days, sorry. It's called The Principles of David and Goliath. Everyone's heard the story of David and Goliath, right? Well, David being the David, beating your Goliaths, beating your obstacles in life. So we did a 3-part series. One's on mindset. There's the mindset one. The second one, oh, Michael Gerber wrote this one with me. This is awesome. He's one of our celebrities. E-Myth. Are you kidding me? This is amazing. We have this one's on action and implementation. And the third one's on strategy. Actually, this is the second one, sorry, strategy and goal setting. And then the third one's action and implementation. The point that I'm bringing this up, it's already sold out. It's already #1 bestsellers in so many different categories. So grab a book, grab a copy if you want, Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble, wherever you want. They're all over the place. The point I'm bringing this up, though, is this. I am a firm believer that we are living in a world that we are empowering, and we are almost there for female empowerment to reach its awesomeness. And I want to help them. I want to help more females to go to the next level, because basically it's a need. So what I decided to do was, instead of doing we already did the David and Goliath, we now have the Principles of Debbie and Goliath. And it's a 3-part series just like this. It's all on female empowerment. It is all females that are going to be in here. So if you're a female in the room here, reach out to us if you want to be in that book series. Yes, it's a pay to play, but it's really cool. And you'll be aligning yourself with all these famous individuals. And it's a series, 3-part series that allows these female authors, to teach your 13-year-old self or 13-year-old teen neighbor self-confidence, how to deal with eating disorders, how to deal with bullying, how to realize a man is not a plan, right? I love that saying. How to move to the next level and become the legacy female that you want to become. So it's really cool. Reach out to my team if you're interested in that. But that's my time. I wanted to just open it up for any Q&A. I'm here for you all. I really appreciate your time. This is amazing. I know it's almost 9 o'clock, I believe, your time here. And I'm super excited about being here. Please let me know how I can help you. Does anyone have any questions or comments you'd like to share with us? Because I hope that you guys really, really take some of this to heart, and later on, write down those 3 people that you're going to reach out to. And I want to see some thank you notes, not only to them, but to yourself. But let me pass it over to the person in charge.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks,
Charlie.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Brian, would you like to thank Eric? Please unmute yourself.
Which Brian? Are we talking Brian? Hey, Brian. I think it's frozen.
Hello. Rhonda, have you unmuted everybody?
No, they have to unmute themselves.
Here's Brian.
Yep. It's not as easy for a blind person to find these buttons, But anyway, that was awesome. I thoroughly got a great deal out of that conversation, or that presentation you just gave us, and my battery's going flat. So I've got a few things I've taken note of there. You'd be hearing my computer, so I won't do that to you. But I do appreciate what you've given us, your story. I loved it. We all loved it, I reckon, I expect. I'll be looking forward to re-listening to the audio from this, because I'm sure we've all taken a great deal of notes. It's worth it. The work on yourself is one I've got. Also, what do I want from my life? Oh, sorry, my phone's speaking to me at the same time. But appreciate it, and yeah, look forward to hearing you again if you ever come back on here.
Oh,
Thanks,
yeah.
Brian. Thank you, Brian. Now, Jeremy, are you there?
No, Jeremy's gone.
I'll speak for Jeremy. I'll speak for him. I'll speak for him. Oh my God, that was the best speaker we've ever had in the history of this meeting. This is crazy.
Well,
back to you, Charlie.
Would you like to end the meeting, please, Jeremy? With I'm alive and well, and I feel great. Oh, maybe you don't know that. We're going to shock you right now. We normally end our meetings with an affirmation. So, is everybody ready? Just
I have one.
Exercises?
I have an affirmation for you guys.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll put it in the chat, and I'll do. Sorry, Charlie, I'm interrupting you.
That's right.
Where's
I'm
the
used
chat?
to it. You're just taking over from Greg.
Okay, here, I'm putting it in the chat, and I'll say it. You have to pee every day. You have to be positive, energetic, and awesome.
Oh, I like that.
Well, we have our own little affirmation. Are we ready, folks? Do your exercise. Yep. And on the count of 3. I'm alive.
I'm well. And I feel great. Alive. Well. And I feel great. Alive.
Yes, yes. I'm special.
You are.
Yeah.
That's why they have special classes.
Is everybody happy with that? Well, Jeremy's not here to tell you who next month's speaker is, but I'm pretty sure if it's anywhere near as good as the ones we've just heard today, you'll all be back, and with guests as well. So, see you later, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Charlie.
Thanks, Keith.
Enjoy all.
Loved all the material. Thank you.
You can stay online and have a little chat if you like. All right.
Good week, all.
Erik, I'm wondering, will they elect you anywhere near the White House?
Are you talking to me, Rob?
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Erik.
Am I near the White House? I'm over in Park City, Utah.
Oh, wow.
Will they let you anywhere near the White House?
No, not anymore. I'm too motivated.
Yeah. Because one of the problems you see is here in New Zealand, our perception of the United States is an absolute mess.
It's crazy.
Case.
And it's crazy.
Yeah. So how are you going to change that?
Yeah, we take silly to the next level. I mean, we're like, hey, let's have the president do silly too. So yeah, it's crazy. Yes. Are we still recording? Okay, good. Hey, I want to personally apologize to Brian for something. So if you're still there, Brian, I want to personally apologize because I made a cardinal mistake and rule, not knowing any situation. I've been going in to get some stem cell and some what's it called? The IV fluid stuff. Yeah, just like positive things like that. So again, I wholeheartedly apologize. I'm not sure what you're doing, and I made a joke for no reason, and that was a mistake on my end. So I do personally apologize to you. I didn't know the situation, but you look super comfortable. That's why I was saying that.
Brian is donating blood in that picture.
Oh, there you go. Okay, good. So I got it. So it was on a positive, but I was like, oh man, did I just mess up by saying something? Maybe I did. So. Cool.
Loved it.
Stop donate. Don't donate all of it, Brian. Like you got to keep some for yourself. You're there.
Thank you. It's been an awesome morning. Thank you both for being our guests today. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. I want to thank Keith as well. Keith, thank you very much, man. I appreciate your wisdom. I see your hand up. Sorry.
Keith, did you get your raised hand answered?
I'm sorry.
Your hand is raised. Did you get your question answered?
That it wasn't. So I've got this version of Zoom. If I do this, watch this. My hand pops up.
Oh.
So there it happens automatically. So when we were saying, "I am great. I am alive. I am awesome," it caused my hand to go up.
Okay. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day, whatever time of day it is for you. And we look forward to seeing you again.
Let me ask you.
Eric,
Thanks for
Eric, I'm
having
not
me.
offended, mate. It's all good.
Keith and Eric, oh, sorry. Go, Brian.
Go, Rod.
Yeah, Eric, it's all good, mate. I treat life as I talk to everybody. I tell people I see this and I see that, and some people said to me, "But you're blind, you can't see anything." I said, "No, I talk normal." So it doesn't matter if I can see things or I can't see things. I like people to treat me as normal as they treat everyone else anyway. And that's where I've got my Facebook page called Tips from a Blind Man. So people can feel comfortable around me.
Oh, so are you saying you are blind then? Is that correct?
Fully blind, mate. Black blind, can't see a thing.
Wow, that's awesome.
I found out at the age of 26.
Oh, that's awesome. Let me just explain it. I'm really good looking. So I just,
I expect yeah, so am I. So that's why I'm not visually impaired. I'm vision impaired. Visually, I'm a good looking guy.
You are.
Thank you.
I appreciate you big time. And I absolutely love your sense of humor. I noticed that right from the start, and I dug that because you're very quick and witty. I dig that a lot. So that's my type of humor. I love it.
And Rod, you had something to say as well.
Yeah. Wondering if Keith and Eric are following the Women's World Cup football.
Yeah, I was in it, and then they kicked me out. So Keith,
the women's. Oh well, there you go. But yeah, it's happening, and your team is playing in New Zealand, the USA, who won it last time, won the cup, the World Cup. So you're not following it in the States.
I'm
just
not
a little bit.
Yeah.
It's amazing how
soccer. I usually don't watch it till it gets to like the final teams, like the, till you gets close to the championships. So.
Is that what you were watching last night?
You got a good chance you're not going to win it this time. So need some of your positive energy.
Thanks for that vote of awesomeness.
Right. And I love competition. So whoever's there, I'll watch the championship. Hopefully USA is there. If they're not, I'll still watch it. I love competition.
So have either of you been to New Zealand?
I have
no, not me.
Oh, there you go. You don't
have you, Rodney?
Yeah. We're probably one of the few countries in the world that's going to survive global warming. So you better buy a section. Better start planning to move.
Nice.
Okay,
Keith, I'm messaging you right now, Keith. Just my info. Give me a shout. Let's connect.
Okay, absolutely.
I'll put in my cell as well. 6193. I'm putting my cell in there, and I'm putting a note. Join the female soccer team. Okay. Thank you, Rodney. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much. Good morning to everyone. We'll see you soon. Bye. Take care. Thank you. Thanks, Brian. Thank you, Rodney. Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.